Hello there everyone, my name is Waffles the Asian Yenbear, and today we're heading out to One Piece Worlds or Bandai Card Fest, whatever you want to call it. We're going to day 2. I did a vlog like this for day 1. You can go check that out on the channel, very short. But let's go ahead and get ready.
Flash or Benjamin from France. おめでとうございます。だいぶ環境が変わったり、そうですよ。わお。これが皆さんどんなリーダーだと思いますか。
So I tried to find a quiet place to record afterwards because I had a lot of thoughts right after all those announcements. There was a lot dropped on us, but everyone was kind of just rushing out, so I had to wait till I got home. And at this point, I don't have a lot of energy, so sorry. But I'll just kind of go over some of the fun stuff that happened today. First, matching battles, really fun. I got my first 3 wins. So I think I showed them in the, I showed all the different leaders I played against. So the first 3 games were pretty good. The third one was interesting because it was against Shirahoshi, and I have never actually played against Shirahoshi, even in the sim. No one's played Shirahoshi, so I had no idea what most of the cards did. It was a very difficult game for that reason. I'm like looking at my phone, I'm kind of just checking like, okay, wait, what does this one do again? And I'm just trying to like learn as I go, and I kind of guessed that maybe Shirahoshi was a little bit more like those like 4 to 6 cost bodies. So I tried to just stall out. Well, stall is the wrong word. I tried to focus on like board control, and I think that worked out pretty well. Eventually they got to the point where they didn't really have anything else they could do, and then I could start kind of taking like more of an aggro position and then doing that. But that was honestly one of the hardest games today. I think maybe the Shirahoshi player I played felt kind of bad afterwards, but I was just like, that was a challenge trying to learn as I was going. Rough. But I got those, I got my prizing, and then I played against a Zoro who just annihilated me. I did my best, but no, there was just nothing I could do. Well, it was, I want to say it was close, but it wasn't really that close. I tried my best. But then I think the last one was Lucci, and I have like 0 memory of that one. I remember I was just putting out big characters just to try to just hope that they ran out of removal. But, you know, it's Lucci. Lucci doesn't really run out of removal. So, yeah, and overall I ended up 3-2 today. So, not as good as it was yesterday, but you know what? We still take it. It's still fine. The one thing that was a little bit different is that I didn't actually get any prizes for getting 5 games this time, which was different. I think maybe it was because there were... sorry if you hear Hyper in the background. I'm not using a normal microphone. I'm still on my phone. So maybe he's getting picked up more. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, also, for those who are new to my channel, Hyper is one of my cats, and he's very loud. I'm sorry. I forgot. This is different than what I would normally do. Okay, so yes. I'm thinking maybe it was different because it was really busy today. Like, it was about twice as busy as it was yesterday. It was kind of crazy. Maybe there are some shots I put in from, like, showing how many people were there, but it was insane. Like, going to the place, and I waited until, like, afternoon to leave, but going to the place because of the rain and everything, it was cold. But in the hall, I was dying. I was like, oh my god, I need to, like... I think maybe I put it in the thing, but yeah, there were a couple times I had to, like, okay, after the game, I'm going to step out for a little bit, cool down, and then come back. When I was going, when I was going into my last game, I actually found my friend that I sometimes see at, I don't want to say locals because it's not local. It's just whenever I go to a certain card store, sometimes I'll see him. And it's interesting because, one, I don't know his name, and two, he speaks in very quick Japanese, so I can barely understand him. But we recognize each other, we sometimes hang out, and I don't think either of us understand what we're saying. It's kind of a interesting dynamic there. But I like him, he's fun, and sometimes I see him at these big events. So that was interesting. So we went together for a bit. He went to possibly buy something. I forgot exactly what he wanted to buy. But yeah, we were going to there, then I went over towards the stage. He hung out with me there for a bit, and then he went back to doing some more tournament stuff because I had done my 5 battles, but he had only done his first 3, so he went back and did some more of that. But yeah, I found a place by the stage. All the games were good, but I'm going to preface this with all the games are good. All the players, amazing. Lucci in Spandine is a problem. Like, we'll get to it in a second, but like, there were a lot of times where I was just kind of like, I found myself growing a little bit frustrated because it was like, okay, this is an interesting game, but you could just immediately go Moria, Rebecca, Moria, Rebecca, Sudo, Spandine, Rob Lucci, like on any Moria start. And I was just like, it was really frustrating to me a little bit because I was just like, this is... One, it's a little bit boring because it's like, okay, well, I never feel like there were any stakes. I really don't know how to word this. I'm sorry. But basically, yeah, ultimately, whenever the Lucci games were happening, I was like, it was a little hard for me to be invested because every time the Lucci player would start their combo, I'm just like, yeah, that tracks. That's normal. And so I was definitely expecting Spandine or Moria to get hit. I know now, and we're going to get into the bans in a minute, but I know now Moria is not that big of a deal, but we're also kind of dealing with Bandai, who is a little slow for everything, and ultimately Moria kind of had to go. It was either going to be Moria or Spandine, or at least limit Moria. That was kind of my thought, because I was just like, you can't be doing this every turn. This is ridiculous. And I know so many people were upset about the Enel player. Like, every time I would go into like chat rooms and everything, people were mad about the Enel player. And I was just like, okay, but the Lucci just like gets infinite advantage. So I kind of understand, but also at the same time, I was like, yeah, I mean, Enel's playing the stall version of Enel, which is frustrating. But when you hit the Gadatsu on the fucking Gecko Moria, that was funny. That was funny, not good, but funny. So I am glad that Enel. You can see I play Enel too, but I am glad that Enel doesn't have to play stall anymore. Like, for me, I've tried it. I can do it. I don't like it. It's boring. But if you instead change it for things like Nami, Damn Punk, stuff like that, it's pretty good. And actually, hold on. I should probably plug this in because I just remembered we're on 15%, or at least we were. So we're probably at like 10% now. Okay, yeah, 10%, exactly. Okay. So when we got to the second thing, the actual finals, it was Shanks versus Rob Lucci again. So a lot of the Rob Lucci stuff was normal Rob Lucci things, but it was interesting to me because we saw a lot of playing around Red Hawk, Gum Hawk Red, Red Hawk, Hawkeye. I don't the 2-cost event. I forgot the name. It's late. I'm sorry. So, but yeah, we saw a lot of playing around it, which is kind of interesting because it's like it shows that if you have a card that is so easily signaled at high level play, it's going to be very easy for people to play around. Like we even got to the point where someone, the other guy, I forgot his name. I'm sorry. The other guy was going 6 Dawn on Rebecca to keep Red Hawk from KOing that. And I was just like, yeah, I mean that's kind of the weakness of if you're playing Red Hawk in Shanks. It's like it's a good card, but you also can't rely on it so much. And obviously, all of these players are much better than me. This is more of an observation I was getting just from understanding like trends that I was seeing, and I think that applies to a lot more games. So that was kind of my takeaway. Other than that, like I really did enjoy the games. I felt, what's the right way to say it? Like I felt like I enjoyed it a lot. Then we got into the the presentation. Presentation was good. It was kind of long, and I was just like, okay, I'm waiting for the ban list, but I'm listening. It's interesting stuff. First, Roger leader, awesome. I saw a lot of people get a little salty about that, but I was like, okay. I mean, as Roger, it kind of makes sense that it's 7,000 attack, and like they didn't show us the effect or the life. I think it's probably going to be severely limited. Like when I think about it, it's like, yeah, Roger's probably got like barely any life. Maybe he's 1 life leader. So the hosts were talking about that. They were thinking like, okay, well maybe he's like a 1 life leader. We don't know. But red, purple, Roger. So red, purple, Luffy lives in a different form. So that's cool. I'm happy about that. How are we at 9 minutes so far? I'm talking a lot. Okay. Anyway, all the art for everything looks really cool. Set rotations are going to be happening. Which honestly, like I saw mixed reactions from that, but ultimately I'm happy with it. Like, I think it provides a way for us to have a ban list in a pseudo ban list way. You know what I mean? Like Western players have gotten more than once a year, but in Japan we've only had 2 ban lists now, or 3 ban lists. Sorry, 3 ban lists. So it's happening like once a year, which is not enough. Like we have to have a way to kind of change the meta, because for OPO, was it 9 and 10? I think it was 8 or 9 or 9 or 10, one of those. It was like Dofi, Lucci, and Enel, and it's like that's it. And it was really frustrating because it's like, yeah, the game just get really boring, and it feels like you gotta wait until Bandai steps in, and this way Bandai doesn't really have to. And I mean, I'm coming from experience playing with Pokemon in a way, like not super competitive, but like Pokemon, I played it enough. I saw how the rotations went. And honestly, the rotations were fine. Any of the stable cards just got reprinted. You could use your old ones. So it was really okay. Like cards that were super broken, it was also a little bit better because you could go, okay, well, this is going to get rotated out. So that felt a little bit better. When it came to actually seeing the ban list, so I have mixed feelings on it. First, I kind of went into this thinking like, okay, right now blue purple Luffy is a problem there, but I don't think they're going to address it, and I'm worried about that because blue purple Luffy is so new that it kind of makes sense why they didn't address it. But it is, if you guys know me, you know that one of my hobbies is I track the wins for tournaments here in Japan, and it's not good right now. It's been like 2 weeks, and blue purple Luffy is rapidly approaching tier 0, and a lot of people use tier 0 in a hyperbolic way. No. Tier 0 is really bad, so we don't like that. And so was concerned because I'm like, if they don't hit that, then we're just in blue purple Luffy format. Right now it's blue purple Luffy, or sometimes things that beat blue purple Luffy, or if you're lucky, green purple Luffy. It's bad. So I was a little worried about that. I was hoping that they would at least hit Gum Gum Giant, because Gum Gum Giant, I like it. Obviously, you know, I play red purple Luffy. My recent guide was red purple Luffy, and it's a great card, but it's too good of a card. Like, I can admit that it generates too much advantage for you to be able to have 4 in your deck. I thought that they might do some limiting instead of just banning it. Like, I think if you limited it to like 2 copies, it's probably fine. But having 4 of those, so being able to do 4 turns of Gum Gum Giant, I think that was not okay. And they did not hit that, which is unfortunate, because there are a lot of purple Luffys causing problems. And especially, like I said, blue purple Luffy, it's not like blue purple Luffy needs it, but it makes it even better. So it's rough. It's rough out here. They banned Moria, which, thank God. I have been feeling like Moria needed something. Like, I would have been okay if they limited Moria. It's the same thing as Gum Gum Giant, where it's like, it's okay to do a couple turns, but if you're doing that for 4 turns, recycling it back in the deck, doing it again, it's not okay. Like, you should not be able to generate a whole field with Moria. That's how I felt for a while, and I thought that maybe if they didn't hit Moria, then they at least had to hit something else in the chain. Whether it was Rebecca with maybe Rebecca Errata to like Dressrosa only or something, or to like hit Spandine, ban Spandine, and then you stop the Lucci combo a little bit. But I'm okay with them to ban Moria, fine. Unfortunately, they also banned Raigo, which I was like, obviously I like it now, but I get why they did it. I think maybe Western players, I saw a lot of people confused about it, but basically the problem is that if you have 10 CNL from the EBO2 and you have him out on the field, you can Raigo for basically free. Basically what happens is if you have your 10 CNL, because it's on attack, or when attacking you can use his effect, basically you can Raigo, you have 4 extra dollars to do whatever you want with, sometimes I do damn punk, sometimes it's just swing, and then you swing with 10 CNL, you get his effect and you're back up to 2 life. So essentially 10 CNL did kind of break Raigo. I don't think it's, compared to all the other decks, I don't think it is that big of an issue, but I do see why they did it. What else did they ban? They banned Ice Age, which I didn't think that was really necessary. Ice Age feels like it's kind of the best cost reduction, but without the KO part, there's really not much you can do with that. So I don't know how I feel about that yet. I'm still processing it. But they did ban Jinbei. And that was weird. So this is kind of the thought of why they didn't ban Blue Purple Luffy stuff, is I kind of feel like they locked this ban list in a while ago. Because when we think about the meta and how it's changed, OPO9, Doflamingo, sorry, Hyper. Doflamingo was an issue in OPO9. Doflamingo was not much of an issue, a little bit of an issue in OP10, if I remember correctly. EBO2, Doflamingo stops being an issue. And then OP11, Doflamingo is not an issue at all. Power creep basically catches up at that point. And so I feel like hitting Jinbei was unnecessary. But I kind of see why if they had locked it in earlier. Anyway, I have been rambling. I have work tomorrow, and I still have to edit this video. So, you guys, you're going to see a cat, and then I'm going to go. Come here. You're adorable. Hey. Say hi. Okay.